Good night, everyone. Welcome to our special training. Thank you all for showing up. It is a pleasure to have you here. Now, we have done it before, but let's do it again. Type in the comments. First of all, I want to know all who is here. And most importantly, where are you coming in from? I know we've got a wide spectrum here tonight, and the numbers keeps raising. So type to me the name, your name, and where you're from. Let's get the chats going. Okay, Trinidad and Tobago is in the house. Alicia Francis, perfect, nice. Let's see who else is in the house. Grenada, Trinidad, Grenada. Jacqueline is from Grenada. Trisha, Trinidad. Andrea, Trinidad. Jenny Lynn, Trinidad. Wow, Trinidad is dominating, man.
Wow, Trinidad's in the league by a mile.
Right on.
Hi,
Sylvia.
Hello, Andrea.
Wow, yeah,
Another
Andrea.
Grenada. Oh, we got another Grenada.
Perfect.
Right Trinidad, Grenada. Right here, another Grenada. $5 bid, sold. Trinidad. Another Trinidad.
Trinidad, Kimberly, Trinidad, nice, nice. Okay, so we've got quite a group here tonight. Majority of the persons are from Trinidad, and wow, yep, definitely, everybody is from Trinidad. It looks like, let's say, Kevin, I would say like it's like a 70 to 30%.
Yeah, I see that. What about the rest of the places in the Caribbean?
I know, right?
Is there any place else that exists down there? I don't even know all the names of the places. All I know is Tobago, Trinidad, and Grenada. What else do you got? St. Croix, Virgin Islands. Are they part of the Caribbean?
Yeah, those are part of the Caribbean. We got Antigua as well. We got St. Vincent.
Yeah.
Actually, I must see my St. Vincent people. What's going on? Right. Okay, perfect. Jacqueline Harewood. Antigua, she still cannot hear. That's strange. By the way, everybody is hearing me, right?
Yes, sir.
Just type in the comments, yes, if you're hearing me. Yes, yep, everybody's hearing me. That's strange. Okay, for those of you not hearing me, try signing out and back in. That has been working for the last few times we did this webinar, and there was a problem with the audio. So just try signing back out and sign. Okay, Jacqueline is hearing me now. Perfect. So yes, just sign out and sign right back in. So it's good to see we have a mass spectrum here tonight, of course, with Trinidad dominating for now. But it's good to see that. Now, again, ladies, you know it is important that we're going to be sharing some powerful information. Ladies and men. Kevin, we actually have some men in here tonight, yeah? So we can't see ladies.
All right, we got a 70-30 split going on with Trinidad, but we also have about a 90-10 split between estrogen and testosterone.
That's right.
We have some testosterone tonight.
Dwayne is in the house. Dwayne is actually a brother from church, so it's good to have him. Nice Dwayne. Welcome to the program. Right, welcome to the training. So tonight, let's just focus. It's not going to be too long. We're going to keep it condensed and to the point. I'll also be recording this presentation, so I will send out, and you can also share it with your family members, etc. Kevin, I'm just going to mute you, and I'll bring you back on shortly. So turn off all distractions, get yourself ready for this presentation. It is filled with information, and information that will possibly change your life. Now, if you're ready for us to begin, type yes in the comments. I'm looking at the comments. Type yes in the comments below. Okay, yes, Sylvia, Andrea, Kirill, Enna, Trisha, and Kimberly. Right, my team is ready. It's very good that you are pumped, motivated, and most importantly, take some notes, because I'm actually going to be showing you some of the strategies I personally use and I know that have been working in pretty much protecting the acquisition and, more importantly, sharing it with my family. So take notes. Some hot pointers are going to be let out here tonight, and especially when Kirill comes on, he's going to be letting off more steam. So welcome to our presentation. Corona, what you need to know. And as its popular name, the COVID-19. Now, in tonight's training, we're going to be covering a very important topic that's very real in the lives of everyone watching this webinar right now. I think this is actually the first time that we are covering a topic that transcends our entire audience simultaneously. As a matter of fact, over the last 4 days, all of us lives have been transformed by this virus. Everything changed. The Americans declared a state of emergency. The Caribbean islands almost simultaneously reported their first cases. We had here in Grenada the government declaring a 2-week lockdown of the schools. We also had a mass evacuation of the SGU, which is our local medical school campus. And the videos, I saw some of the videos yesterday, we had persons line up from the actual terminal way back out into the road. So it was like a crazy evacuation going on. All sorts of strange flights coming in here and extracting the US citizens. So this actually just started out, as most of us know, as a localized outbreak in China. And this has now been declared as a global pandemic. And if there is one time that you want to ensure that your health, and more specifically, your immune system is up to speed, it is now. So stick around to the very end, because we'll be giving you practical strategies to boost your immunity starting tonight. Now, when it comes to war, before we can really fight or engage with any enemy, we need to understand a couple of things. We need to understand their origin, we need to understand their tactics, and most importantly, we need to understand their weaknesses. And this is the approach that we will be taking with this deadly coronavirus. So let's start off. What is the coronavirus? Now, the coronavirus is a large family of viruses. Now, these viruses can cause anything from the common cold to the more severe diseases such as MERS and SARS. However, the novel coronavirus, or as the name COVID-19, that's a new strain of this virus family that has not been previously identified in humans. And the coronavirus, it has a very unique shape. They look like, as you can see on the picture on the screen, tennis balls with little spikes sticking out. Now, depending on the type of spikes, it will allow it to attach to certain places. So some coronaviruses have spikes that attach to your nose, and all that does is really just give you a common cold. However, the COVID-19 or the novel coronavirus, their spikes allows them to attach to the cells in your lungs. Now, once they get there, they pretty much use your body to replicate themselves. So they make more, and they keep doing this until they take over. So where did this coronavirus really come from? Now, from the information that has been released, and I have to specify that, the information that has been released to the public, that has been released from the news media, it appears to have originated in Wuhan, China. Now, possibly, as I said, from a fish market where live animals are also sold. Originally, it was thought that the virus was in a live animal, and it crossed over into a human being, where from there it continued spreading from human to human. So, on that note of spreading, let's look at how does this coronavirus spread. Now, just like all viruses, it needs to reach a target. And if you remember, because of the shape of the coronavirus virus, the COVID-19, their target is the lungs. Now, it doesn't have any wings, feet, or anywhere to get there. So the only way the coronavirus could get to the lungs is by using our help. Now, at the time of this training, the coronavirus is not classified as an airborne virus, so to speak. So the way we can move the COVID-19 to its target, which is the lungs, is by touching an infected area with our hands and placing that at the portal of entry. Now, the portal of entry are your mouth, your nose, or your eyes. Now, this is where it gets interesting because according to the new studies, the virus can live on certain surfaces up to 3 days. Now, here's a quick breakdown as to how this is going to work. For copper, the virus can live on copper for about 4 hours. On cardboard, it can live for 24 hours. And when it comes to plastic and stainless steel, it can live for up to 3 days. But the kicker is this: you don't know when that surface was touched. So how would you know when to start the timer? So basically, that is just really good to know information. And I will treat all cases to the max, which is up to 3 days. What's more important is how can we detect it? So let's look at some of the symptoms of the novel coronavirus. The symptoms are pretty much like the flu. You know, the fever, the cough, the shortness of breath. In more advanced cases, pneumonia, kidney fever, chest pain, kidney failure, chest pain, and also fever. The shortness of breath is particularly interesting. And to understand how it works is, let's just take a step back to the design of the virus. Now, the virus, as we discussed earlier, has these spikes. The COVID-19 in particular, their spikes attach to the lungs or the cells in the lungs. So once they get there, they put in the information, they start to replicate. They are pretty much going to be duplicating themselves. They're going to duplicate themselves so much that they start killing out our normal lung cells. And as a result, we can't exchange oxygen as efficiently. Hence the shortness of breath and the difficulty breathing. Also, with the symptoms of the coronavirus, it's pretty much very stealthy. It can appear as quickly as 2 days, or it can take as long as 14 days. So a person can come off of a flight, and this is a pretty interesting one. They can come off of a flight, come to their country, interact with persons for up to 14 days before any detection of that coronavirus would have been made. Now, why is that particularly dangerous? Because all of those other interactions is a possibility for transmission. Secondly, there is no way to know if that person really had coronavirus until that 14 days period has expired, which is why the quarantine period is 14 days. So once they suspect a person has corona or they are traveling from the corona dense areas, so coming back from China or these areas, Italy, that is known to have the coronavirus, they will quarantine them for up to 14 weeks. That is basically to give them a chance to develop the symptoms. Now, presently, there is no cure for the corona or the COVID-19 at this time. So the treatment that they really give at the hospitals is mainly supportive. So you're having difficulty breathing, oxygen is administered. They give you fluids, waters, your kidneys are failing. They pretty much treat those problems. So they support the body in recovering itself. This is also a fun fact. Based on the data we have available presently, the global reported cases of coronavirus, if you look at the ratio to persons that have the coronavirus and persons that died from it, it is only a death rate of about 5%, which means that based on the information, I have to emphasize that based on the information given, because there's still so much we don't know, most persons recover thanks to their immune system being able to fight it off. The susceptible persons when it comes to succumbing fatally to corona are the kids and the elderlies. A case in point of this is Italy. If you look at the news, Italy now has one of the highest death rates of countries that are affected by the corona. If you look at the statistics in Italy, Italy has the oldest population in Europe. So a large percentage of their population are elderlies. And because their immune systems are a lot weaker, they're now manifesting by showing a higher than normal death rate. So this is really just the coronavirus in a nutshell, just giving you a bit of information so we can understand it. Remember, in order for us to fight the enemy, we need to first understand the origins, learn their tactics, and then let's focus on their weaknesses. So we learned here so far that the COVID-19 is a new strain of the virus. It targets the lungs. Now, because it doesn't have any way to get there, it needs our help. And it can live up to 3 days outside the body. Presently, there is no cure. The only cure is up to your immunity. Now, if you have learned some new stuff, just type me in the comments below before we continue with the training. I like to get a little interaction just to make sure you are there, you're not sleeping. So type me in the comments before we move on to the actual tactics and strategies for destroying the corona in our community here. Me, Andrea, Jillian, Kimberly, Melissa, perfect. So you are still here with me. Now, let's move over to the strategies that we're going to use. Now, a lot of this is not new information per se. You have heard it. You have heard about the washing your hands periodically with soap and water, and also alcohol based if there's no visible dirt. You've also heard about staying away from crowds, staying away from people, maybe wearing your mask, boosting immunity. But I like to put things in a systematic way. So instead of just getting a bunch of information slammed at you, let us see how you can apply this into your everyday life. The goal when it comes to corona is to keep the virus away from the target. Let me repeat that again. When it comes to corona, the main goal is to keep the virus away from the target. And the target, as we know, is the lungs. Now, I'll be rolling out, or we are rolling out here, a 3-step strategy. Stage 1, what you can do before leaving your home. Stage 2, once you have left your home, what do you do? And stage number 3, returning home, what strategies do you implement? Right? So let's jump right into that. Protection strategies, stage number 1, before leaving home. As I said before, the persons who recover, the 95% of them who recover from corona, is because of their immunity or immune system fighting back. So the first thing you should do is focus on boosting your immunity. And don't worry, Kevin will actually be giving us practical strategies and tips to actually doing that. The next thing, even though you're still at home, continue to wash your hands frequently. And number 3, avoid crowds. Now, if your job is such that you do not have to leave home, you can work from home, it is advised that you switch to such a strategy. Avoid crowds, avoid large gatherings as much as possible, and keep yourselves pretty much, for lack of a better word, quarantine at home. Less interaction you have, the less the chances are of contracting and worse, spreading that disease. So if you can remain at home, work from home, that is the optimum solution. Now, of course, that will not always be practical. So let's move to stage number 2. For those of us who have to leave home. So if you must leave home, again, step number 1 is to boost your immunity. Number 2, and I like to put it this way, protect your ports of entry. The coronavirus cannot enter your body by itself. The only way for it to get there is by you physically transmitting it or transporting it from its origin, whether that is a door handle, a table, or somewhere, and putting your finger or your hands to your mouth, nose, or eyes. These are the portals of entry. So if you protect these ports of entry, if by mistake you put your hand in your face, that portal of entry is protected by a mask. And I start with this one because I believe in closing the gateways before you go into the offensive. So the mask that we recommend is the N95. The mask that most persons use is the typical surgical mask. However, the N95 is a full face mask and it actually seals your face right around, protecting any chances for your hands preventing any chance for your hands to actually touch your nose or your mouth. So that is the first thing you want to do. Protect your ports of entry. Now we go to step number 2. Now we go into the offensive. Wash your hands frequently. Soap and water is best. It is stated if there is no visible dirt, then you can use the alcohol base. But I like to keep it basic, soap and water. That is best. The backup is then the alcohol base. So we have protected the port of entry. We have now moved into the offensive, cleaning our hands. And the last step to prevent the transmission is to keep your hands from your face. If you use step number 2 and you inadvertently put your hand in your face, the mask would protect that. Secondly, if you follow step number 3 and you inadvertently put your hand to your face, because your hand would have been sanitized, there shouldn't be any coronavirus to take into that port of entry. So those 3 basic steps in place, move to step number 5. Clean your workplace environment frequently, whether it is your office desk, whether it is your car. We do have some officers of law in here, so their workplace would be a car. In my case, it is my cockpit, the aircraft cockpit. I spray that thoroughly before each flight. And after disembarking, I also sprayed on all the seats with a Clorox-based solution, as this is known to kill 99.9% of the germs and viruses. So you do the same. Whatever environment you are going to be working, ensure that you clean it frequently. This strategy ensures that all of the checkpoints for getting that corona into your body is guarded against and significantly reduces your risk of contracting the coronavirus. Now let's move to a very important strategy that you don't hear much about, but is equally important, especially if you have young kids at home and elderlies. Especially if you have young kids at home, because based on the research, the kids' immune system and the elderlies are the most vulnerable when it comes to being attacked by the COVID-19. So, number 1, wash your hands with soap and water. Now, depend on the work environment you have. Some workplaces actually have showers that you can possibly shower and change at work. So you leave all of that stuff there. change into brand new clothes, and head on home. If that is not possible, then once you get home, stage number one, again, the goal is to not be a host for this disease to get to its point of entry. So do not touch your family members. As rough as it sounds, don't hug, don't kiss. I know your kids are glad to see you. This is good. This was a pretty tough one for me, but I had to do it. Don't interact with them as soon as you come home from work. What you want to do is to head straight to the shower. After you've cooled down, of course, take a shower. And next important thing you want to do is to get a separate basket for your work clothes and put them into that basket. So that way you're not mixing your clothes with their clothes. And in my case, with the flight bag, which is in the cockpit at all times, I keep that away from the kids because I'm not sure what have been transmitted there. As much as I try to spray it down and keep it clean, I keep that in a place that they can't access it. So something you can do. And then after doing all this, now you can interact with your family members. So this is the strategy, the 3-step strategy I recommend when it comes to protecting yourself from, first of all, picking up and then transmitting that coronavirus home. One, if you can stay at home, keep yourself at home, work from home. If it is not possible, step number 2, prepare yourself for going out. Starts with boosting immunity, then protecting your ports of entry, washing your hands, and also avoid putting your hands to your face. Most importantly, keep your work environment clean. And once you're coming home now, reverse the process. Clean up yourselves so you can return home in the state that you left. You left home sterilized, you want to return home sterilized. Until you are in a sterilized state, do not interact, and I emphasize, do not interact with your family members. So at this point, I'm going to be bringing on Kevin. He will be showing us some more advanced strategies that we can do to ensure that our immune system is up to speed, because God forbid those strategies fail and you do contract the COVID-19, that is the last hope for survival, that your immune system is strong enough to fight it off. So Kevin, are you here?
I am here.
Perfect. Take it away. I'm going to mute myself and I'm going to allow you to continue the rest of the training.
Okay. Well, that was some amazing content you just displayed there and passed out to us. A lot of profound things there, a lot of common sense stuff as well. And I will happily add to what you were saying and expand a little bit more. First of all, everything starts in 2 places in the body: the mind and the gut. I want you all to memorize that, and I want you to write it down if you have to, and I want you to look at it every single waking hour of the day and even right before you go to bed. Everything starts in the mind and gut. Yes, if you touch something and you go like this, and you got coronavirus, and you go like this and smudge it all over your face, yes, you're probably going to get the coronavirus. But believe it or not, if your mind is strong enough and sharp enough, you can possibly dispel anything from happening in the whole wide world. Wim Hof has proven that theory. And if you guys don't know who Wim Hof is, he's very popular. He has a very popular way of training out here in America right now, where you expose your body to cold temperatures. And a lot of you that have been following my story and hearing me throw words out there all the time, I tell you how I walk around with no jacket on all winter long. And the main reason why is to expose my body to the cold. And you know what the number one reason why I do that is? It's not because I'm trying to elicit more fat burning in my body, because that is one of the things it does. It is completely to boost my immune system through the roof, because I know the winters in Park City are long, they're brutal at times, and there's a lot of germs floating around. So I want to do everything in my power to avoid becoming sick and getting sick. This is way before Corona even reared its ugly head. I'm always trying to do whatever I can to boost my immune system through the roof, to prevent cancer, to prevent disease, to reverse the aging process. That I feel I have cracked the code on over the years. So first strategy I'm going to say, Jason gave you all the physical, tactical things. Wash your hands all the time. Be careful of who you hug, the whole shebang. I personally don't live in fear, and I don't want any of you to live in fear out there. That is number one. As soon as you live in fear, and as soon as you become super conscious of everything around you and all the moves that you make, that is when you invite disease and problems to occur in your life. And that's when you attract the germs. That's when you attract the coronavirus and so on. If you flip those switches and you live your life as normal as can be, except you're a little bit more cautious of what you're touching and what you're doing, then you're going to be totally fine. And the more positive chi you put out there, and the more that you think that you're in possession of your life and you are exactly where you want to be mentally and physically and from a health standpoint, the more positive energy you're going to pull in that direction. So to boost your immunity, you're all going to start thinking right now that you're in possession of optimal health and you're doing fine and you're going to be safe and God is going to protect you, because that is the truth. So it all starts there. Now, that's the brain part, the gut part. You can take supplements. You can superdose on vitamin C. You can take golden seal. You can take echinacea. You can take vitamin B complex. You can take anything you want. But guess what? If your gut is not in good shape on the inside and you're not breaking things down, you're not digesting, all those pills you take are going to be floating in the sewer system down the streets of Tobago somewhere, or Trinidad, where most of you are from tonight. That's what's going to end up happening, because you're not going to be able to break them down. And guess what? Immunity does not start with the food you eat, and it doesn't start with the supplements you take. It starts with how good a shape is your gut flora, your gut bacteria. That is primary. That is number one. We've said it a million times, and I'll say it again. If you get your gut in good shape on the inside and out, but especially on the inside, then you will reap the benefits of less inflammation, better brain function, hormone optimization, more weight loss, and a boosted immunity through the roof. Because just think about it for a second. If you take all these supplements and all these things to help improve your immunity, but you're not digesting them, how beneficial are they going to be for you? That's my question. They're not going to be very beneficial. They're not going to be beneficial at all. They're going to be dollars wasted. That's what they are. So to improve your gut health is a multi-pronged approach. One of which is what we're all doing right now. We're doing time-restricted eating, and we're doing fasting. When you fast for 12 hours, your body goes into fat-burning mode at the hour of 12 already. That's why I always tell everyone, at least get 13 hours of fasting in every single day if fat burning is your goal, because then at least you have an hour of fat burning in. But what we have done is we've slowly increased it to the point where you're doing like 16 hours a day. So now you've got a solid 4 hours of pure fat burning going on, and then you eat your first meal. But guess what else is happening? Your body is going through a detox process after hour 12. So you're purging toxins from your system. Secondly, you're slowly getting a small amount of autophagy every single time you go approximately 16, 18 hours. Autophagy is cellular detox, when your body starts breaking down the byproducts made from cellular conductivity inside your body produced from mitochondria. So you're further eliminating toxins and boosting your metabolism. And I'm sorry, not your metabolism, boosting your immunity. Now, if you hit yourself with a 24-hour fast once a week, then you're getting a massive amount of stem cells being produced in your stomach to further improve your gut health. So, and in times like these, if you want to take those preliminary efforts that Jason mentioned in stage 1 of boosting your immune system, now is more than the perfect time to do fasting, to do religious fasting. And I don't mean religious as in praying. I mean like serious, legit fasting. And if you want to further boost your immune system, I highly suggest popping in at 1 or 2 24-hour fasts a week right now. Not even joking. That can boost your immunity too. And then in the event, the god-awful event that you are to contract the coronavirus, you're going to be in such better shape than the average person. It's not even funny. And I might also add this. The biggest problem with the death toll and the death rate of coronavirus are those who have already compromised immunities, or those who are elderly. And when I say elderly, I'm talking like 80 plus years old. And also most of them are hospitalized or they already have respiratory conditions that are pre-existing. So if you're 80 plus, you have a compromised immunity, and you have a respiratory condition, you are in the worst shape of anyone else in the whole world to contract the coronavirus and possibly pass away from it. But if you're an otherwise healthy average person who's aged 18 up to anything under 80, and your immunity is good, you're active, you're healthy, you're fit, then you shouldn't have any problems at all, in my opinion. So yes, wash your hands, pay attention to what's going on. I don't like to live in fear. I don't like to wake up in the morning and say, oh my God, I have to go to the store today. When should I go? I need to pick my shots. I need to get my gloves and my face mask on. No, I'm not wearing face masks right now. I'm not wearing gloves. I'm still shaking hands with my friends. I'm still hugging those who I love, and I'm not going to stop. And in the event that I get the coronavirus, then I get it. And there's nothing I can do except let it run its course and be miserable for 2 weeks. I'll sequester myself from society. I'll blog about it. I'll do Facebook Lives, and I'll be miserable. But when I come out, I'll be stronger than ever before. But I do know this. I take every precaution I can to boost my immunity through the roof. And it starts with fasting. It starts with what you think, and it starts with what you put in your stomach to improve your gut health. So what can you do to improve your gut health? We've already touched on fasting. Time-restricted eating, beautiful. Throwing in a 24-hour fast, beautiful. Once or twice a week. Lots of water, and avoid the stuff that can compromise your immunity. No smoking, no heavy drinking, no eating late at night, no eating nachos cheese platters late at night. Heck, all the restaurants in town here are now shut down. Everything's basically shut down in our town here. Today, the gym shut down. So I got that lifeline taken from me, but it's okay because I got plenty of equipment to work out in my apartment in a 10 by 10 foot space, which we'll get to that in a minute. And I'm the master of bodyweight training too. So I've got 1,000 years worth of workouts in my head or written down already. So I'm not worried about that at all. We're going to talk about how we're going to help you guys with that in a minute. But exercise, the medium of exercise, 30 minutes of exercise boosts your immunity. There are those experts out there who say, ooh, whenever you do high intensity exercise, it compromises your immunity and you're more susceptible to being sick and blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? Anytime I've been sick over the past 10 years, I paid very strict, close attention to how I felt. And the only time that I felt okay when I was sick was during my time frames of exercise, regardless if I was doing cardio or weight training or whatever. The only time I felt good is when I was exercising. When I stopped exercising, I'd take a shower, I'd come home and I'd sit down, I might fall asleep. I'd wake up and I'd feel like crap all day long. And then night would come and I'd feel even worse because at night, your body goes into defense mode and it produces a ton of white blood cells, which are your disease-fighting, immunity-boosting cells. So to further safeguard yourself from all this crap that's going on and to boost your immunity even more, focus on trying to get good sleep every single night. Solid, good sleep. Make sure your room is completely dark. Make sure it's slightly cool. Make sure your brain is as clear as a whistle or as clear as possible. Read before you go to bed. Meditate before you go to bed. Whatever it takes to help you relax and get into a good deep sleep, that's going to be important. Because during sleep, HGH goes through the roof, human growth hormone. Human growth hormone is a life extension hormone. So when you're sleeping, HGH goes up, muscle recovery goes up, brain recovery goes up, cell recovery goes up. You eat late at night, right before you go to bed, gone. You lost it. Doesn't matter if it's an organic kale salad with organic chicken breasts on top and garbanzo beans. That doesn't matter. You eat right before you go to bed, you're absolutely cutting into your body's ability to boost your immune system. So I couldn't stress enough, try to separate your last meal from bed by at least 2 hours. Anything above 2 is even more bonus. 3 is even better, 4 is even better. So if you can do time-restricted eating every day, pop in 1 or 2 24-hour fasts a week, get good sleep, finish eating 2 to 3 hours before bed, drink a lot of water, think positive, and then include a bunch of prebiotic foods in your diet, then you're going to be in really good shape as far as boosting your immunity system goes. Now, what are the foods that are considered prebiotics? Let me get a drink of water. I'm saying a lot of words. Hold on. Okay. Asparagus. That's one of my favorites of them all. Garlic, leeks, onions, bananas, oat bran, oatmeal, chicory root, Jerusalem artichokes, edamame. All those foods are really good in prebiotics. I take asparagus spears, raw, organic, and I dip them in hummus. Usually I start my meal with that every single night to lay a good foundation of prebiotics in my system. I think I forgot to mention bananas. I love bananas. Don't run away from bananas. Don't believe that bananas are going to make you fat and overweight, because that's a big bold-faced lie by all the keto people out there. Like I said before, last time I saw monkeys swinging around in my neighborhood, I didn't see any fat ones. They were all in shape and they were lean, and they're hopping from tree to tree with big smiles on their faces. So follow the monkeys. They eat bananas all day long. They're not overweight. They're not out of shape. They got tons of energy. So bananas are added into the prebiotic mold as well. So eat some of these prebiotic foods on a daily basis. Get them in your gut, get them in your system, and that's going to feed the probiotics, which are already pre-existing in your stomach. Then the probiotics are going to allow you to break food down properly when you do eat it. When you have the kale salad for your first meal of the day, or you have the sauerkraut or the kimchi or the tempeh or whatever you're eating, all that stuff is going to break down well. Then when you have the berries and the citrus fruits and the things that are high in vitamin C and polyphenols and all these other things that are high in antioxidants, your body's going to break them down, and that's going to help boost your immunity. But if we eat junk food and then we try to eat all these things that are high in antioxidants, they're going to have little effect on us because we're not breaking them down as well. So remember, we got to start from the ground up always. The ground up is inside the gut and at the bottom of our feet. So also walking around, you ladies out there in the Caribbean, you have sunshine, you have grass, you've got sand. Sand, walking around barefoot in sand is the best thing you could possibly ever do for your immunity because you are grounding big time. The particles of negative ions found in sand on a sunny beach are second to none. And when you're in salt water, it's like you're a conductor of negative ions. It's so beneficial, it's not even funny. Walk barefoot through the edge of the water in sand. That's one of the best things you could possibly do for yourself to put your body into homeostasis and boost your immune system. So those are some off-the-wall things that you can do to boost your immunity. And I highly suggest you start working on all of them. And if you can only pluck 2 or 3 out, that's totally fine. Start with 2 or 3 and then work your way up. Now, another thing that I always talk about that people are super scared to death to do nowadays is get hugs and do it often. And I am keeping my stance on that, and I'm not taking it away. 8 hugs a day for 8 seconds. It releases oxytocin. It has been known to reverse disease, especially heart disease. I read it in an article 2 weeks ago, right from the, I think it was the New England Journal of Medicine, if I'm not mistaken. The power of physical touch and human connection cannot be overstated, in my opinion. You know who's safe and you know who's not safe. If you're out shopping at a grocery store and somebody who doesn't meet wants to come hug you, run like hell. That's all I'm going to say. Because obviously there's got to be something wrong with them. And if they're foaming at the mouth, run even faster. That's all I'm going to tell you. But if it's your significant other, if it's your family member or your kids, you know who it is, it doesn't matter if it's one person. Get 8 hugs for 8 seconds a day. Do it as much as you can. That is going to improve your positive flow and your positive energy inside and outside your body. It's also going to boost your immune system. I can't stress it enough. So do that. Also, do not leave shopping carts laying around in your local shopping centers, because I spent 3 hours yesterday at my local Smith's grocery store and TJ Maxx parking lot, picking up trash and rubbish that people have left behind and shopping carts that were left alienated out in the parking lots. When, mind you, the stalls where you can park these shopping buggies were not but 20 feet to my left or right. So people have been going to the stores out here, hoarding everything they can, filling 3 shopping buggies full to the top with food and paper towels and toilet paper, not thinking about anyone else in town, doing it for themselves, rolling the carts out to their car, loading their cars, and taking the carts and going, boop, and just shoving them to the side and leaving. That is utter disrespect for humankind, as it is completely. And it makes me sick to my stomach to watch. So I'm out here trying to set a positive example and positive chi in Park City. And I spent 3 hours yesterday picking up after other people. And I had a group of people join me. And I'm going to continually do it this week that the town is decimated with like not being able to go out, not going to restaurants or bars or anything like that. And I want to create positive chi and positive flow in this world. And every single thing I do has to have that behind it, or I don't do it. And I sound militant sometimes, and I sound vengeful, or I sound like a vigilante, or whatever you want to call it. And that's totally fine. I got into a scrap today with someone that was posting on our Facebook page for our gym. And they were furious that our gym was still open. There's some 20-something gal. And she was bashing the gym and saying, oh, that is so disrespectful and it's utter distasteful for you guys to endanger the lives of other people, endanger your workers and stuff. And I look at the post and I had to jump up and say something, because the people that own the gym and run it, they can't really go into these chat rooms and scrap with people because they have to have a professional demeanor and stuff. But I'm K-Rail. I'm a gunslinger, so I can say whatever the heck I want. And the worst ramifications that I would get would be the gym would fire me. But I don't think it'd be smart for them to fire their number one guy. So I jump in the chat room and I said to her, with all due respect, if you don't like it, don't come. It's like these trolls, they go out and they look for places where they can spew their negative energy, and they're like the coronavirus, in my opinion. They love to spew their negative crap to people. So she was in there scrapping away, saying you guys are disrespectful and blah, 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 and the health department should shut you down. And I said, I was in the gym the past 5 days, which this is absolutely gospel truth. There was maybe a maximum of 10 people in the entire gym, all scattered out, not even within 6 feet of each other. The gym itself has taken all the precautions necessary to keep it as clean and spick and span as possible. They've gotten these generators that like suck germs out of the air, if there should be any. I don't know what they're called. There's ozone reducers or something. And they're very vigilant about cleaning up after everyone. And everyone that's been going to the gym, I see them cleaning stuff before they work out with it and after they work out with it. And everyone's been being very responsible. And in times like these, this is the most important time for you to think health and fitness. And how can I stay healthy and how can I stay fit through these trying times? So if anything, I was in there going to bat for Silver Mountain Sports Club, saying to this gal that this is the perfect time for us to take all the precautions we have. And I assume you go shopping, right? This is what I said to her. I go, I've been to the store the past 5 days, and it's a madhouse. There's people out there blowing their nose and dropping tissues on the ground. There's people leaving carts out in the parking lots. There's people leaving trash on the ground. There's people walking past trash, tripping on trash, acting like it doesn't exist. Kind of like when you have a dog and it poops on the ground in your room, in your living room, and you just let it sit there for 5 weeks and pretend it's not there, but it's actually there and we all know it is. It's kind of like that. And that's what really makes me sad. So we went back and forth a few times, and she just kept digging back at me. And I was totally calm the whole time, and I kept pulling her punk card over and over. And the more calm I was, the more angry she was getting. And that is the problem. She was all just spewing anger left and right, and people just love to be mad. They love to be angry, and some people need hugs. But I retorted back to her, and I was like, obviously, we're having a little Mexican standoff here, and we have a difference of opinion. And I said, it looks like somebody needs a hug. I said, but given the evidence that I was just given by your demeanor and tone, I'm sure that would be impossible because you're probably really executing the social distancing aspect that the government is trying to enforce on everyone. I said, so I guess that's out of the equation. So then she sends me so Silver Mountain Sports Club sees the feed, and they deleted her whole stuff in our conversation. And I was ready to go back to battle again, because I will take a bullet for any one of my colleagues or my friends or family members or anyone who's close to me who's getting harassed or beat up or bullied. Because when I was a young kid growing up, I was beaten, I was bullied, I was looked down upon, I was called names. And do I have a chip on my shoulder? You're damn right I have a chip on my shoulder. It's absolutely true. I won't deny it for a split second. But I am 100% real, and I'm 100% genuine. And when I walk into a room, you know exactly what you're getting. You're getting killer K-rail. And if you can't stand it or don't like it, then don't come to me. But I'll be damned if I'm going to be fake. I'm going to be anything other than spewing positive energy out into the atmosphere. And sometimes that gets mistaken for being negative, but I'm not negative. I'm just fired up. I am high on life. I love to do good things. I love to motivate people, and I like to inspire them. And that's the whole reason why Jason and I are here today. We're here to inspire you. We're here to motivate you. And we're seeing that you're motivating each other. And that's what gives me chills. Good chills, not chills from the coronavirus. So, all that being said, here's my final words to you. Let me get one more drink of water. Big deep breath. Let's all just take a deep breath together, because I've been seeing a lot of this. Ready? Here we go. On to 3. We're going to take one big inhale, and then we're going to exhale. And we're all in our home, so we don't have to worry about any viruses floating around. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Hold it. Exhale. Boom. Okay, let's get down to business. Wow, we've been getting down to business for a while. So I'm making a huge announcement right now, so get really close to your computer and listen to me very carefully. I'm going to turn some lights on because it's starting to get dark here. Hopefully I'm not. I was at the gym the other day looking in the mirror, and I was like, oh my God. I think I said this last week, but I'm going to say it again just because it's funny and it's the truth. I looked in the mirror, and the sun was hitting me, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so white right now. I'm blinding myself, and I hope I don't offend any gym members because I'm so white, and I hope I don't blind them as well. But now the gym is closed, I don't have to worry about it. I just have to sneak in there and get my kettlebells out so I can bring them back in my house here and work out. Anyway, Jason and I have been working feverishly behind the scenes because of all of this crap that's going on, not because of all the crap that's going on in the universe and the environment. We've been working behind the scenes diligently the past few weeks before the coronavirus even reared its ugly head. And we thought to ourselves, you know, my lifestyle works very not basically dogmatically, but I'm very kind of like, I flow like water. But sometimes I am in a place in a certain time where I don't have access to a gym. And I saw this years ago. And I started building workouts in my mom's basement when I was a young punk back in Pennsylvania. And it occurred to me over the years that I never wanted to be in a place, in a time where I don't have access to equipment. But I also realized there are going to be times when I'm in a place at a time where I don't have access to equipment. What am I going to do and how am I going to get through it? That's when I started to become a master at home workouts. That's when I started to become a master of body weight training. That's when I started to become a master at creating workouts off of tools that you find in your home, like broomsticks and water jugs and towels and chairs. So we have been behind the scenes working on a program that's going to give you all the ability to stay in, not just to stay in shape, get into the best shape of your life from home. A lot of you have already done the Igniter program, so you already have reaped the benefits of that. We're about to take something that the Igniter had and put an exponent of 10 next to it, which is going to include very deep, awesome content that you're going to get every single week. And I'm not going to go into detail exactly what it is yet, but Jason and I will be unveiling it this week. But I do want to tell you this, get ready, because it is going to shock you. It is going to be the coolest, most awesome thing you've ever come across. And I'm telling you, we have spent hours figuring this out. And I had sleepless nights. I had anxious nights. I got up in the middle of the night a few times writing down notes, shooting videos, doing different things. And it's going to be amazing. I am actually so excited about it. I'm shaking right now because I think about the impact it's going to have. And then I see the coronavirus come to town because we were going to launch it anyway. Now with the coronavirus hitting, it's even more important to focus on your health and focus on your fitness and to stay as strong as possible. And we're going to make that available to all of you right from the comfort of your home without having to worry about going out and getting germ-infested people slobbering all over you or touching your stuff. And you won't have to wash your hands as much either, except if you're sweating, which you probably will be doing. So that's my finishing statements for what I have to say right now. As usual, if any of you have any questions or comments, you know how to find Jason and I. And I'm going to see if anyone has any questions. Let's see, in the chat room. And if you have any questions right now, hit us up right now while we're here. Because we roll fast and we roll hard. We're like chipmunks, Jason and I. 1 minute we're right in front of you, and then boom, we're gone. We just scatter. So you got to get us while we're hot. And right now we're on fire. You drown yourself all the time. That's awesome.
Jason, we got a bunch of new members too here. We got a bunch of new guests here too that are not part of our regular Six Bungs Igniters team. So for those of you, we'll actually be sending out information about this, if you want to call it, at-home program that you can still, now that the gyms are beginning to shut down and they're becoming desolate, you can still train from the comfort of your home, boost your immunity, get your fitness, get your weight under control without having to worry about entering a possibly virus infested. Exactly. If you guys have any questions, even for our new guests here, if you have any questions, just punch them in the chats below. We're just going to be spending maybe about 5-10 minutes answering questions. This was actually not part of the program, but we'll just throw a little bonus in. Kevin always likes to give away bonus. And we'll answer your questions and then we'll wrap it up. While we're doing that, I just want to say a special thanks to Hema, who has really helped in the content that you see here tonight. Hema's primarily responsible for providing me a full presentation, giving me the information about the coronavirus, the prevention tips, etc. Also, Kelvin Dragon, he was also instrumental in providing me the information that we have here. And last but not least, Allison. Allison was my drive, my push to get this presentation done. I was actually deliberating and delaying, but she really pushed me. I do not have to say thanks to Kevin because Kevin when Kevin talks, everybody's on fire. Everybody knows. Everybody's already fired up, just like me. I'm just listening to Kevin and I'm already fired up. So thank you very much, Kevin, for putting in that and for really igniting the participants here on the chat tonight. So let me head on over to the questions. I'll mute myself and allow Kevin to answer them.
Okay, I see some questions rolling in, and I'm going to start with Ali. What should we stock up on? Okay, here's what you should stock up on. Let me crack my back. Hold on. If y'all want to crack your back with me, sit in your chair upright. Ready? Now what we're going to do is put our hand on the back of the chair. We're going to put our other hand on the opposite side of our leg. I don't know if you can see me. Now we're going to take a big inhale, and then we're going to exhale. And we're going to press against our leg and the back of our chair. Keep your shoulders broad and try to crack your back. Ready? Here we go. I couldn't crack it. The stretch felt good, though. Okay, what should we stock up on? Common sense. Stock up on common sense. That's priority. That's number one. Stock up on positive chi. Act like you're in possession of that what you want. Put deflectors on. No virus near me. Act like you're in the best health of your life, the best shape of your life. Never let that go away. But I think you want to know more so what physical things you should stock up on. Well, I don't live with any of y'all. I don't live in your houses. Let me apply some organic lip balm. Vegan organic lip balm, I might add. If you can, you see, I don't like this whole stocking up thing. The hoarders in town here they've really driven a spike into my shoulder blades. Because when they go down there and they take all the toilet paper and all the paper towels and all the antiseptic and all the Clorox, it's just so disrespectful to everybody else. I always say, take what you need, and when you're getting low on that what you need, find out how to stock up on it then. That's exactly what I did, and that's what I'm doing right now. And ironically, I've been in the grocery store about 5 times the past 2 days, and I noticed a lot of the SpaghettiOs are gone, a lot of the pasta's gone, the bread, the potato chips, empty, ghost town. But guess what there's plenty of? Get up really close to your screen again. Get this. Organic produce. And the vegan section, well supplied. So I just walk in and I go like this, praise Jesus. So I know that I'm in good shape. So I got my food, I got my healthy food, I got my produce. I got a big bag of quinoa from Whole Foods the other day. So if I was to stock up on something, like if I just got put on this game show and I said, we just got this show going called Stock Up for the Coronavirus, and you're going to be one of the people, and we're going to go shopping with you, and you have an hour to buy things. This is what I'd buy. I would get organic beans. I would get big bags of quinoa. I would get pistachios. I would get organic nut butter, probably peanut butter. I'm not afraid of peanuts because it's cheaper than almond butter and it does the same purpose. I would get some soup that is in Tetra packs, which are those rectangular shaped things, organic as well. I would get a week's worth of produce, and I would get some date coconut rolls. That's what I would stock up on. Now, again, some of you have families. You have 5 kids, 6 kids, 4 kids, 5 people in the family, 6 people in the family, whatever. What you need to stock up on is you have to look at what do you normally go through the most of. That's as simple as that. Do you go through bananas really fast? Do you go through meat? Do you go through fish? Do you go through eggs? Do you go through hummus, vegetables? What kind of paper products do you go through the fastest? So I would stock up on that which you feel you're going to run out of the quickest. But again, I would only think in terms of like 1 week at a time. Don't go like crazy and hoard everything in sight, because it's just not good. It's not good chi for the environment. It's a negative thing. It's not a positive thing. And we're all about creating positive change. Remember that. We want to put good out there into that endless pool of energy that whips around us like 100 miles an hour all day, every day. Excuse me. Okay, let's see. My 9-year-old is an asthmatic. What can I do to boost her immune system? I would say all those things I mentioned before. The golden seal, the echinacea, the vitamin C, berries, etc. Work on getting her gut in good shape. Prebiotics, all those prebiotics I mentioned. Try to get her some of those. Someone with asthma is, they have a bronchial situation going on. It's different than your average like gluten intolerance or something like that. So you just got to be careful with polluted air as well. And obviously, she already has a lung condition, so you don't want to exacerbate that by anybody getting coronavirus, obviously in your household. But I would stick with the basics of what I said before. And 9 years old, I probably wouldn't have her do fasting. I don't really recommend fasting for anyone under 18 years old, depending on the situation. 12 hours is totally fine though. And that'll at least get a baseline amount of fasting going on that can help spark her immune system a little bit. So I would recommend all that stuff. And you can also find teas and stuff like that that are really good for asthma, and because it helps relax the bronchial tubes, and also